and welcome back to NeuroPower Talks, where we turn cutting-edge neuroscience into real-world transformation. I'm so glad you're here today, and we're diving deep, not into another restrictive diet or grueling workout routine, but into your brain, because that persistent belly fat's not just about willpower, it's about how your brain manages stress and stores memory, regulates hormones, and even prioritizes energy. You see, our belly fat is biologically wired into survival patterns, triggered by the limbic system, reinforced by cortisol, and often sustained by outdated neural circuits. But when you start rewiring your brain with intention and clarity, fat loss becomes less about punishment and more about alignment. In this episode, I'll be sharing 5 powerful underrated tips to help you reduce belly fat in a way that's backed by neuroscience. Not fads. These are practices that can shift your biology, reset your hormones, and retrain your brain's relationship with food, rest, and self-worth. Because real change, it doesn't start in your abs, it starts in your mind. So take a deep breath. And you're not just watching another health video, you're about to begin a journey of embodied, empowered change. And let's unlock the neuroplasticity that's already within you and tap into the science of sustainable transformation. Are you ready? Let's begin. Look around you. Look inside yourself. And how often do we underestimate the power of rest? How often do we sacrifice our sleep, our calm, for the endless chase of productivity, of perfection, of control? This is not just a habit. This is a silent saboteur. And I am here today to expose one of the most profound, overlooked enemies standing between you and the body and life you deserve. And that enemy is chronic sleep deprivation and unmanaged stress. And you may have heard this before. You may have brushed it aside, thinking, I'll sleep when I'm dead, or stress is just part of life. But hear me clearly. And your sleep and stress are the primal governors of your biology, your emotions, and yes, the very shape of your body, especially your belly fat. Science has shown us something extraordinary about this connection. And cortisol, the infamous stress hormone, does not just affect your mood or energy levels. It programs your body to survive through crisis by telling it to store fat, not just any fat. And the fat that nests deep inside your abdomen, squeezing around your organs like a silent, suffocating enemy. This visceral fat is not harmless. It is a ticking time bomb for heart disease, diabetes, inflammation, and an early mortality. Every night you skimp on sleep, every moment you live under unrelenting stress, your cortisol spikes and stays elevated. Your brain is screaming danger! And danger, but you are not running from a tiger. You are sitting at your desk, scrolling your phone, juggling deadlines. And yet your body cannot tell the difference between a real physical threat and psychological strain. It reacts the same way with the ancient, ruthless logic of survival. So what does this mean for you? And it means you're trapped in a biological trap, a feedback loop that keeps your belly fat growing, your energy draining, and your mental resilience crumbling. The less you sleep, and the more cortisol floods your bloodstream. The more cortisol, the more fat your body hoards for protection. The more fat, the heavier your burden becomes, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too. And this cycle is real. It is brutal. And it is happening to millions right now. But here's the truth that will change everything. Your sleep is your most powerful medicine. Your rest is your fiercest ally. And your ability to manage stress is the key that unlocks your body's potential to shed this fat, this invisible weight that has weighed you down for far too long. And when you truly commit to honoring your sleep, to reclaiming your nights as sacred, transformative spaces, you begin to shift that cycle. You tell your brain it is safe. And you calm the storm of cortisol raging inside you. You open the door for your body to burn fat instead of hoard it. This is not theory. This is the neuroscience of transformation. And this is your body waking up from the chaos and saying, I am ready to heal. I am ready to change. I'm managing stress. That is not just about meditating for 5 minutes or doing some yoga poses. And managing stress is a radical act of self-preservation. It is a refusal to let external pressures dictate your internal chemistry. It is the conscious choice to reset your nervous system and to rewire your brain's automatic reactions to fear and anxiety to reclaim your emotional power. When you do this, you literally reprogram your body's relationship to fat storage. And imagine cortisol as the gatekeeper of your body's fat bank. When stress is high, the gatekeeper is vigilant, locking away fat deep inside. When you learn to soothe your nervous system, to breathe deeply, and to calm your mind, you tell the gatekeeper, all clear, release the fat. Let it go. This is not magic. This is biology meeting mindfulness, science meeting soul. On the platform of NeuroPower Talks, and we have uncovered countless stories of people who transformed their bodies by transforming their nights. People who stopped running on empty and started running on renewal. And they stopped feeding their stress with relentless worry and started feeding their resilience with conscious calm. The results? Not just slimmer waistlines, but lives reclaimed, minds sharpened, and hearts unburdened. And now ask yourself, what is the cost of ignoring this? How many more mornings will you wake up exhausted, frustrated by a stubborn belly that won't budge? How many more days will you push through stress and unknowingly fueling the very fat you want to lose? This is the moment to choose differently, to honor the sacred power of sleep and stress management as your foundational tools for fat loss. But here's the catch. This is not about a quick fix or a temporary hack. This is about building a fortress around your body and mind. It is about rewiring your biology to work for you, not against you. And it is about mastering the rhythms of rest and repair, about becoming so tuned into your own nervous system that you can feel the cortisol levels dropping before the fat even starts to melt away. And we live in a world that glorifies busyness. Hustle culture tells us that sleep is weakness and stress is proof of ambition. But I am here to tell you that true strength is found in surrender. The surrender to the power of rest, the surrender to the rhythm of your body's needs. And when you stop fighting your biology and start working with it, belly fat loses its grip on you. Your metabolism ignites, your energy surges, your mind clears in this ongoing journey. And every night of restful sleep is a victory. Every mindful breath taken to quell anxiety is a step toward liberation. Every moment you choose calm over chaos rewrites the story of your body's destiny. And so I invite you now not just to listen, but to feel the urgency of this message deep in your bones. Because this is about more than fat loss. This is about reclaiming your power, your health, your life. And the science is clear, the path is clear, your next step is clear. And as we continue this conversation on NeuroPower Talks, remember this, your sleep and stress are not your enemies. And they are the gatekeepers to your freedom. Honor them, respect them, master them. And with mastery comes transformation. Listen carefully. And because what I'm about to share is not just advice, it is a revolution for your body, your mind, your life. For too long, the narrative around fat loss has been narrow, focused solely on burning calories and endless cardio and deprivation. But what if I told you that the secret weapon you have been overlooking is not just about burning calories, it's about building something far more powerful muscle, real, living, and metabolic muscle that transforms your body into a furnace of resilience, vitality, and unstoppable energy. Muscle is not just about aesthetics or lifting heavy weights at the gym, and muscle is your biological currency for life. It is the very tissue that defines how your body burns fuel, how your metabolism operates, and how your fat stores shrink. And muscle is the difference between surviving and thriving. The more muscle you build, the more you command your metabolism to burn calories. Not only when you move, but even when you rest. Muscle is your silent and relentless ally in the war against belly fat. Think about this. And your resting metabolism, the energy your body burns while you're doing absolutely nothing, is largely dictated by the amount of lean muscle you carry. This means muscle is like a furnace that never goes out. And it's always burning, always working for you. When you build muscle, you increase this furnace's size and power. You don't just burn fat during exercise, you burn fat while sleeping, while reading, and while living your life. This is not a vague concept. It is hard science backed by the physiology of muscle cells and mitochondria, the powerhouses inside them that generate energy. And here's the emotional truth. The journey to build muscle is a journey to build yourself. It is a profound statement of self-worth. Each rep, each set, each moment you push against resistance is a declaration. And I am worth the effort. I am worth transformation. This is where the battle for belly fat shifts from frustration to empowerment. Muscle building is a daily ritual of reclaiming your power and of reshaping your biology and your destiny. On NeuroPower Talks, we've heard countless stories from people who transformed their bodies not by running themselves into the ground, but by building strength, by lifting, pressing, pulling their way to freedom. These are stories of people who stopped chasing the scale and started chasing resilience. And they stopped the endless cycle of burn and binge and stepped into a new paradigm where strength is the foundation of fat loss. Muscle also rewires your hormonal landscape. And it increases levels of growth hormone and testosterone, hormones that burn fat and build tissue. It improves insulin sensitivity, and meaning your body handles sugars and carbs with grace rather than storing them as fat. It creates an internal environment hostile to fat accumulation, especially in the belly. And this is why strength training isn't just an exercise routine, it's a biological reset button. Now, consider the mental edge. Muscle building demands presence, discipline, and grit. It forces you into your body and away from the distractions of a chaotic mind. When you lift weights, you're not only sculpting your physique, you are sculpting your identity. You train your brain to overcome discomfort, to embrace challenge, and to grow beyond limits. This mental training spills into every aspect of life, creating a feedback loop where confidence fuels consistency and consistency fuels change. Muscle is also your armor against aging. And as we grow older, we naturally lose muscle mass, a process called sarcopenia, which slows metabolism and makes fat gain easier. But by building muscle now, you build a fortress of longevity. You defy time. And you hold on to mobility, independence, and vitality. Belly fat no longer has a place to settle because your body is too strong, too alive. I want you to visualize this clearly. Your body is a living machine. And each responsive and adaptive, each muscle fiber you build is a wire strengthening your metabolic circuitry. Each workout is a spark igniting a fire within you that no fad diet can match. And this is empowerment rooted in biology, psychology, and unshakable will. And the beauty of this process is that muscle building is accessible. It is not reserved for elite athletes or bodybuilders. And it is for every person who chooses to claim their health, who decides their future will be stronger than their past. Whether it is lifting weights, resistance bands, bodyweight exercises, or even daily functional movement, every bit counts. Every moment you challenge your muscles, you are writing a new chapter of transformation. In the world of fat loss, cardio is the sprint, and muscle building is the marathon. Cardio can burn calories in the short term, but muscle building changes your physiology forever. It rewires your metabolism, shapes your hormonal balance, and transforms your mental resilience. It is the foundation upon which lasting fat loss is built. So I challenge you now, how deeply do you want to transform? Are you ready to step into the power of your own body? And to use muscle as your weapon, your shield, your liberation, this is not just a fitness goal, this is a life mission. This is the ultimate act of self-love and determination. On NeuroPower Talks, and we delve into the neuroscience of strength, not just how to build muscle, but how to build unbreakable mental fortitude alongside it. Because muscle and mind are inseparable. As your muscles grow, and so does your capacity to face life's challenges with courage and clarity. Muscle building forces you to confront fear, the fear of failure, discomfort, and change. But with every challenge met and every barrier broken, you become unstoppable. You cultivate patience, discipline, and a fierce love for the process. This process becomes your meditation, your therapy, your celebration. And as you build muscle, and you dismantle the myth that fat loss is about sacrifice and deprivation. Instead, it becomes about creating strength, creating power, creating a body that honors your life's ambitions. And your belly fat is no match for a metabolism fueled by muscle, energized by will, and driven by purpose. This journey rewires more than your body, it rewires your story. From victim to victor, and from stuck to unstoppable, from tired to triumphant. Each session, each rep, each moment is a statement: I am becoming more than I was yesterday. Muscle is your legacy, not just for your body today, but for your future self, your health, your longevity. It is the gift you give to yourself that keeps giving. It is the foundation of a life lived fully, freely, and fiercely. And so take this moment now to commit, not just to exercise, but to transformation, to strength, to power, to the unstoppable force that lives within you waiting to be unleashed. And this is the key to unlocking fat loss that lasts. This is the path to reclaiming your body, your mind, your life. And as we continue to explore this on NeuroPower Talks, remember this muscle is not just tissue. And muscle is your power, your potential, your future. Build it with intention, build it with purpose, build it with heart, because when you do, belly fat does not stand a chance. And I want you to lean in right now. Lean in not just with your ears, but with your whole being. Because what I'm about to reveal is one of the most powerful, most overlooked keys to unlocking not just belly fat loss, but your vitality, your clarity, your very essence of health. This key lives deep inside you, in a place you may have ignored, underestimated, or misunderstood: your gut. Your gut is not just a digestion system. And it is a universe, a complex, dynamic ecosystem of trillions of microorganisms, a thriving metropolis inside your body that governs how you process food, how you absorb nutrients, how you fight inflammation, and how your hormones dance. This ecosystem is your gatekeeper to health or disease, to fat storage or fat release. Every choice you make, what you eat, how you move, and how you think reverberates through this ecosystem. It shapes the terrain where belly fat either finds fertile ground or withers away. This is not a metaphor, this is hardwired biology. And your gut bacteria communicate with your brain, your immune system, your metabolism. When your gut is balanced, your body functions like a finely tuned instrument. When it's out of balance, chaos erupts. And I see too many people wage war against belly fat without ever understanding the battleground. They restrict calories, they exhaust themselves with exercise, they cut carbs, but the belly fat remains stubborn and resistant mocking. The truth is, without a healthy gut, all those efforts become an uphill battle, a fight with one hand tied behind your back. And science now confirms that an unhealthy gut leads to increased intestinal permeability, what some call leaky gut. This is a condition where toxins, undigested food particles, and harmful bacteria seep into your bloodstream, triggering systemic inflammation. And inflammation is the enemy of fat loss. It disrupts insulin sensitivity. It signals your body to store fat, and particularly in the abdomen, it drains your energy, it clouds your mind. But here's where your power lies. The gut is adaptable. It responds to what you feed it, to how you treat it, and you can transform your internal ecosystem by choice, by awareness, by action. This is not a mystery. This is biology meeting willpower. When you nourish your gut with fermented foods, with fiber, with diversity, and you cultivate a thriving community of beneficial bacteria. These bacteria produce metabolites that regulate your appetite, that soothe the inflammation, that signal your body to burn fat rather than store it. And imagine this, your gut bacteria as gardeners of your metabolism. When they are healthy, they tend your body's energy balance, pruning away the fat, nurturing the muscles, cultivating vitality. And when they are unhealthy, the garden becomes overrun with weeds, fat, inflammation, disease. And it's not just about what you eat. Stress and lack of sleep disrupt your gut flora. Antibiotics, processed foods, and toxins do the same. This means your lifestyle choices, your environment, and your mindset are all part of the equation. Gut health is a mirror reflecting how well you live, how deeply you care for yourself. And on NeuroPower Talks, we have explored the profound connection between gut health and brain health, how your gut influences mood, cognition, even your cravings. And cravings that sabotage your fat loss are not just weaknesses. They are signals from your gut-brain axis asking for balance, for nourishment, for healing. To transform your belly fat, you must transform your gut. And this means embracing foods that feed your microbiome, fermented foods like kimchi, sauerkraut, kefir, and yogurt rich in live cultures. It means eating plenty of diverse fibers found in vegetables, fruits, nuts, and seeds that feed beneficial bacteria. It means cutting back on ultra-processed foods, sugars, and artificial additives that feed harmful bacteria and disrupt your metabolic harmony. But it also means paying attention to your body's signals. Digestive discomfort, bloating, fatigue, brain fog, these are cries for help from your gut. Ignoring them is ignoring your body's wisdom. And listening deeply and responding with care is the first act of reclaiming your health. Gut health is not a quick fix. It is a journey of restoration and resilience. Every meal, every choice, and every habit is a brushstroke painting a new picture of wellness. The more you nurture your gut, the more your body responds by shedding belly fat, boosting your energy, sharpening your mind, and uplifting your mood. And this is the hidden foundation of fat loss that mainstream advice misses. It's not just about calories in and calories out, it's about the quality of the terrain on which your metabolism operates. And when your gut flora flourish, your metabolism becomes a vibrant, dynamic force that breaks down fat, balances hormones, and stabilizes blood sugar. And this is deeply personal. And because your gut health reflects your relationship with yourself, it reveals how much you honor your body's wisdom, how much you commit to healing from the inside out. And it challenges you to see food not as the enemy, but as medicine, to see your body not as a battlefield, but as a sanctuary. On NeuroPower Talks, we delve into this ecosystem every day. And we share stories of transformation, people who reclaim their health by healing their guts, who lost stubborn belly fat by embracing microbial diversity. These are stories of courage, discipline, and profound change, stories that prove this is possible for you. Because the power to change your gut, and through it your belly fat, is in your hands. It starts with awareness, grows with intention, and flourishes with action. It is not a sacrifice, it is a gift you give yourself. A gift of clarity, of energy, of freedom from the chains of inflammation and fat storage. So when you next eat, and I ask you to think deeply about what you are feeding, not just your taste buds, but your microbiome. When you next face stress or fatigue, remember that your gut is listening, responding, adapting. And when you feel stuck in your fat loss journey, consider the possibility that the key lies within, in this unseen universe that governs your metabolism, your health, your life. And this is the transformative power of gut health. This is the foundation of lasting belly fat loss. And this is where your journey begins deep within you. As we continue this conversation on NeuroPower Talks, and remember, healing your gut is healing your whole self. It is a path of courage and curiosity, a path of science and soul. And the more you walk it, the more your body will reward you with vitality, with strength, and with the freedom to live fully and fiercely. Now listen closely, because this is where your transformation takes its next leap. And the fourth underrated secret to losing belly fat is mastering the art of mindful eating. This is not a mere habit or a trendy buzzword. Mindful eating is a radical act of presence, of respect, and of reclaiming control over your body and your life. It is the gateway to healing your relationship with food and with yourself. Too often we eat distracted, rushing through meals, scrolling on our phones, and letting our minds wander to worries and to-do lists. We shove food in, barely tasting it, barely noticing what we consume. This disconnect between mind and body is a recipe for overeating, poor digestion, and ultimately the stubborn belly fat that refuses to budge. When we eat mindlessly, we give away our power to our impulses and old patterns. We sabotage our own progress without even realizing it. But mindful eating demands presence. It calls you to slow down, to savor each bite, to listen deeply to your body's signals of hunger and fullness. It transforms eating from a mindless task into a sacred ritual. And when you eat mindfully, you honor your body's needs. You tune into what truly nourishes you, not just what satisfies a fleeting craving or numbs an emotional ache. On NeuroPower Talks, and we have explored how mindful eating rewires your brain circuits. It strengthens your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for self-control, decision-making, and willpower. And when you cultivate this awareness, you reclaim the steering wheel of your health journey. You stop reacting to food emotionally, and you start responding to food intelligently. This shift changes everything. And mindful eating quiets the chaos inside you. It reduces stress, which is a known driver of belly fat. And it improves digestion by engaging your parasympathetic nervous system, the system that tells your body it's safe to break down food and absorb nutrients. And it stops the rollercoaster of blood sugar spikes and crashes that fuel fat storage. But more than that, mindful eating reconnects you to your body's wisdom. It teaches you to respect your hunger and fullness cues, and to recognize the difference between true hunger and emotional hunger, to choose foods that energize and heal. It creates a new narrative, one where food is not the enemy, but the fuel for your vitality and strength. And imagine the power in every meal, every bite, every moment of eating with intention. You become the architect of your metabolism, designing your body's response with each choice. This is the path to sustainable and lasting belly fat loss, because it is rooted not in deprivation but in connection. And here's the truth: mindful eating is a practice. It takes patience, it takes commitment, but with each mindful meal, and you build momentum, you build trust with yourself, you build a foundation of respect, discipline, and self-love. So today, I challenge you to start now. Set aside distractions, breathe deeply before you eat, and taste your food fully. Ask yourself, am I truly hungry? What does my body need right now? And then honor that answer. No guilt, no judgment, just awareness. As you step into this practice, and you will find that belly fat begins to melt away, not because you are punishing yourself, but because you are aligning with your body's true needs. You reclaim your power, your health, and your life. And let this be your call to action. Let this be the moment you choose presence over autopilot, awareness over mindlessness, strength over surrender. And because your body deserves nothing less than your full attention and care. On NeuroPower Talks, we celebrate every step of this journey. We share tools, insights, and stories to support your transformation. Remember, and you are not alone. You are part of a community committed to growth, empowerment, and lasting change. So take this message deeply into your heart. Let it fuel your determination. Let it inspire your actions. And because the power to lose belly fat, to reclaim your health, and to live fully is already inside you. You are strong, you are capable, and you are ready. The time is now. Own it. Live it. Transform. Thank you.